Yeah. What's that? Yeah, you're live.
How you doing this morning? Doing good? Making it town all right? I hear you. It's amazing what a difference the time makes. Yeah. Oh, good. Which one? Okay. You're on the Alabama side or? Phoenix 10 and then you got. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, that's right there. That's good. Awesome. No, there's no relaxing this way going on.
My phone's turned off.
I think that's New Orleans. Good. Good. Oh boy. You're not gonna do
Bad.
Don't move your hand out like that. There might be handcuffs. The governor can do anything about that, man.
This is kind of gentler version.
That's very good.
You want to go ahead and have
Y'all
that?
might have little man.
Oh. Sorry.
You know, we had a long time, 20-year legislator, actually walking outside of Bush, that died recently, and we thought about, I think through the 90s, I think until he started the term, he was serving, and we were laughing because everybody was sitting around, and we didn't know he was a Democrat or Republican. We were like, oh my gosh,
Hey,
that's so, I mean,
Hey,
their issues, you know, they can understand. They can understand. Their little
Call roll, please.
Lee Mallett,
Here.
William Cluott,
Here.
Brian Bordelon,
Here.
Noah Broussard, Kristen Brown,
Here.
Kim DiGiovanni, Courtney Finay, David Gallo,
Here.
Adam Gwynn,
Here.
Stephen Hackworth, Curtis Joseph,
Here.
Donald Lambert,
Here.
Garland Meredith,
Here.
Christopher Stewart,
Here.
Elliot Temple,
Here.
Keith Tillage,
Here.
Victor Weston. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Tillage, will you lead us in the pledge? Ms. Starks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanika Starks, and I'll be presiding over today's hearing as hearing officer. I'm an assistant attorney general at the Louisiana Department of Justice. We ask for the quorum in these hearings. The board will make all findings of facts and conclusions of law. Please silence all cell phones at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion to consider the commercial board meeting minutes, March 20th. So moved. Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Beavers.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. If we could begin by swearing in all the investigators and staff. I will call them out. Leanne Evans, Todd Eatman, Frank Vaughn, Blaine Anderson, Ronnie Dossie, John LeBlanc, Lori LaRose, Clay Rivas, Joe Anderson, Logan Cockerham, Robert Mertens, Jared Watson, Diane Borg, David Ann, and myself.
Can everyone raise their right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
We're ready to begin.
Thank you. At this time, I think we're going to take a resolution into consideration.
If we could, Mr. Mallett, could we deal with public comments if there are any first? And
Okay, go ahead.
Are there any public comments?
I assume we didn't, but I was right.
Yeah, I assumed as well, but just for the record. If you gentlemen would, we have two resolutions. We would like to bring one of them up. I don't know the number, if it's 08 or 09. 09. We'd like to bring resolution 2025-09 up currently, and that is to recognize the service of Mr. Vic Weston, a long-time member.
Can we also call up Ken West, Ken Knockin?
And Mr. Nakhan can
Yep.
certainly, I believe Mr. Nakhan is here to accept this on behalf of Mr. Weston.
The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, Resolution 2025-09. A resolution recognizing and in appreciation of Mr. Victor Weston, member of the Board of Directors of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, on the occasion of his retirement from the board after 30 years of service. Whereas Mr. Victor Weston was first appointed to the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors in 1988, served until 1992, and was then reappointed in 1999, and whereas Mr. Weston has served as a board member continuously since 1999, and whereas the board and its staff have recognized numerous accomplishments and developments under the guidance and steady leadership of Mr. Weston, and whereas Mr. Weston has been a licensed contractor since 1975, and since that time has always brought a high level of professionalism and integrity to the contracting industry and to the operations of this board. Whereas the board wishes to recognize Mr. Weston for his dedication and continuing service to the board, as well as celebrate the occasion of retirement from the board. Wherefore, it is hereby resolved that the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors hereby recognizes and thanks Mr. Weston for his outstanding accomplishments as a member of the director of the board of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. The resolution having been submitted to the vote.
All in favor?
Motion?
You got a second? I got a motion? Give me a motion. That's the motion. Now second. Okay, now all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Ken Knockin is going to say a few words on behalf of the AGC and Mr. Weston, and we'd also like to present Mr. Weston an award as well. So.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Joseph, thank you very much for that resolution. Again, I'm Ken Knockin, late of Louisiana AGC. it seems like this is what I do today, these days. I go around and collect resolutions from Mr. Weston and his vast sundry things that he does on behalf of the industry. Mr. Weston, because of his physical limitations, cannot be here today, and actually this month is the end of his term on this board, and he did let me know that he's not going to seek a appointment to the board, and that the AGC will appoint somebody else in his place. I will go back to 1987, actually, when he was going to be appointed to the board. And him and I and the gentleman right there on that plaque who passed the legislation for this licensing board in the mid-1950s, he wanted to meet with Preston to find out what this board was all about. And I never will forget, Preston gave me 2 pearls of wisdom that I think he carried out through his tenure on this board, and I'll leave with the board. Preston told Vic that this board is a conscience of the construction industry on behalf of the citizens of Louisiana. And this board protects the construction industry from itself. And I think Mr. Weston acted on those tenets over his 30-plus years representing the industry on this board. And I just leave with those pearls of wisdom with this board. I know Mr. Weston, he does not know he's getting this. I am leaving from here to go to his house because I do see him about every other week, that he will be greatly appreciated. He loved this board. He truly did. He loved what the board did on behalf of the industry. And I just thank you on his behalf. Thank you.
On behalf of the board, we'd like to present this to Mr. Vic Weston in recognition and appreciation for his 23 years of service to the LSL LBC. Want to make it a point to say that Vic served in a lot of ways. Not only did he serve this board proudly, and it was a religion to him. This meant a lot to him, and on behalf of the board, Vic served not only this board, not only his construction company, not only his industry, but he also served in the United States Marine Corps as well. And as a fellow Marine, I wanted to point that out. And he carried a lot of those things to this board, that honor, that integrity, and those things which we wanted to recognize. And on behalf of the chairman and myself and on the whole board, we'd like to recognize Mr. Weston for all he's meant and the many things that he did and moving this board forward. We've come a long ways over the board since my several years here, but a lot of that, his footprint, his handprint, his fingerprint is all over this board. And for that, we honor Mr. Weston. And please pass along our gratitude to him. Please pass along our thoughts and prayers to him. But most importantly, let him know how much he's meant to this board. All right, on that.
And I'll do that from one jarhead to another.
Yeah, one jarhead to another.
I've served as chairman for a few years now, and Mr. Weston's been an integral part in helping me. I know the first meeting I went to, me and him had some different opinions, but we worked our way together, and I became very close, and always his opinion meant a lot to me, because he had a lot of experience, he really did. And I wish him the best, just like you did, and Ken, he's been an intricate part of this board, and we're gonna miss him. So, good luck to him. Thank you.
I think somebody's going to take a picture here for.
You want to come out?
Please send him on.
All right, ready to move on? New business, please.
First item under enforcement hearings, D1, PAC Construction Services LLC. Are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of PAC Construction Services LLC.
We have a settlement offer. PAC Construction Services LLC of Shreveport, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Covenant Church Project in Bossier City, Louisiana, in the amount of $53,907.31. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet, but indicated that they are working on their application. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call John Eatman.
Mr. Eden has been sworn.
Statement in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board for Contractors for this matter?
Yes, they were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Move to accept. Second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
UA Attractions LLC or any representatives present.
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of UA Attractions LLC.
We have a settlement offer. UA Attractions LLC of Bedford, Texas is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Urban Air Adventure Park project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $1,273,912. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet, but said they plan to. They're offering a no contest plea, a $3,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board for Contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
We submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Move to accept. Second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Golden House Developments LLC or any representatives present.
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of Golden House Developments LLC.
We have a settlement offer. Golden House Developments LLC of Garden City, Idaho is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Urban Air Adventure Park project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $1,273,912. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet. They're offering a no contest plea, a $1,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board for Contractors?
Yes, sir.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Submit settlement offer for consideration.
Joseph moved to accept.
Tillage, second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Protex Carding Barrier LLC or any representatives present.
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of Protex Carding Barrier LLC.
We have a settlement offer. Protex Carding Barrier LLC of Carlsbad, California is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Urban Air Adventure Park project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $352,037.87. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet. They're offering a no contest plea, an $1,800 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board for Contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record,
Exhibits are admitted.
and we submit the settlement offer for consideration.
I move to accept. Second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Cart One LLC or any representatives present.
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of Cart One LLC.
We have a settlement offer. Cart One LLC of Carlsbad, California is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Urban Air Adventure Park project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $376,468.79. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet, but intend to. They're offering a no contest plea, a $1,300 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board of Contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
Offer the introduction of those documents into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Joseph moved to accept.
Temple, second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Spartan Solar LLC, or any representatives present.
Heather Griffith, known as president on behalf of Spartan Solar LLC.
We have a settlement offer. Spartan Solar LLC of Winter Park, Florida is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Bishop Residence Solar System Installation Project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $34,583.97. This is their first appearance. They have not applied yet. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn is Mr. Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the Licensed Board for Contractors for this matter involving Spartan Solar?
Yes, sir.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
We submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Move to accept. Stewart. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Climate Pros LLC, or any representatives present.
Good morning, Elizabeth Sconser from Blue Williams on behalf of Climate Pros.
Thank you.
Climate Pros LLC of Glendale Heights, Illinois is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor, Subcool Refrigeration Company LLC, to perform work on the Walmart number 0839 project in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the amount of $335,387.35. This is their third appearance before the board. They were here in March of 2021 for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor, pled no contest, and paid $1,500. They were here March 20th of 2025 for 2 counts of entering into contracts with unlicensed contractors. They were found guilty and fined the maximum amount. That second case is set for rehearing later on the agenda today. They've held a commercial license since January 9th of 2020.
Counsel, do you have a plea for your client?
Yes, we're going to do no contest, and we're actually here because of that rehearing today as well, and I'm wondering if we could consolidate them together.
If the board doesn't have an issue with that, it's up to the board.
Counsel, you prepared?
This is separate.
Is it Subcool too?
It's 2 different.
You don't?
I don't have a problem consolidating. I don't have a problem consolidating if we need to. That's good.
Thank you.
Move to accept. The plea.
You have a motion to accept the plea?
Well, let's talk about it. We're gonna consolidate.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a motion first to consolidate.
And you're okay with consolidating?
Yeah.
Motion to consolidate. Second.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's after Chip Stafford's on the rehearing. It's the very last case. Should I read that one now?
Which one you want to have first?
We're gonna go ahead and read the other violation.
The rehearing case. Climate Pros LLC of Glendale Heights, Illinois is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for entering into contracts with unlicensed contractors, J&J Steel Erectors and Welding LLC and Vista Electric LLC, to perform work on the Walmart number 5327 project in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the amount of $105,566.
Just for the information, it's the last item on there, so you should be able to open up that one.
So for the record, the board has decided to consolidate docket numbers 2024-0091-01 and 2024-0097-01. Is that correct?
Yes. What's your name for the record again?
Elizabeth Sconser, I'm an attorney for Climate.
What's the last name?
Sconser, SCONZERT. Leave it to an attorney to come in here and bust everything up.
So are you pleading no contest for both matters?
We are, and I was hoping that we could consider the fines in globo or in total with that. Climate Pros has had a significant change in.
Let's allow the board to accept the plea first.
Move to accept the plea.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries.
So the no contest plea for the record is for 2024-0091 and 2024-0097. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And they've accepted the no contest plea, so what I need to do is go ahead and put in the evidence. And so I'm going to start with 2024-0091-01, and I'll call Ronald Dawsey for that.
Mr. Dawsey has been sworn.
Ms. Dawsey, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business for the licensed board for contractors for the matter involving Climate Pros at 2024-0091-01?
Yes, sir, they were.
We offer those exhibits into the record.
Counsel, do you have any objection?
No objection.
Okay, those exhibits for 2024-0091 are admitted.
For matter 2024-0097-01, Mr. Dawsey, were exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4 prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensed board for contractors for that matter?
Yes, sir, they were.
And we offer those exhibits into the record.
Counsel, any objection?
No objection.
Those exhibits for 2024-0097 are admitted.
So for the matter of 2024-0091-01, it appears that Climate Pros entered into a contract with Subcool Refrigeration Company LLC. Is that correct, Mr. Dawsey?
Yes, sir.
And the total amount of that contract, as listed on page 9, was $335,387.35. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
As to case number 2024-0097, it appears that Climate Pros entered into contracts with a steel erector and electrical with a total amount of $105,566. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And on both of these projects, these were two different Walmart projects. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And was Climate Pros the general contractor on both of those projects?
Yes, sir, they were.
And both of them were commercial projects, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right, no further questions, and, I'm sorry, is your last name, it's Concert?
Scotsert, just add S.
Concert, okay. If you want to make an offer to the board for their consideration.
Ms. Dawson, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do not.
Okay.
Thank
And
you
I have no
for
further questions.
Thank you for your time and consideration this morning. First of all, I'd like to apologize for my client's absence from last board meeting. They've had a significant change in leadership, including a change of their general counsel. In the last 5 years, they've grown from 1,000 employees to 2,000 employees, and I know that this is not something that's unusual for you to hear, but obviously you're also aware that that comes with a lot of growing pains and a lot of changes. In that interim, there was a particular, they call them regional vice president, that they attempted to educate about this situation, about the need, because they had this past history, and unfortunately the system that they had in place did not hold, and it was bypassed, and unfortunately this mistake occurred, and it occurred on 3 occasions, for which the company is very, very apologetic, and they are working desperately to get this under control, including hiring a brand new general counsel who learned of the hearings on his first day on April 1st and immediately picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, we need help in Louisiana. So we got it together. We started working on underlying systems within the company that will hold true, including a pre-verification process at submittal time, constant monitoring through payment processing, as well as they're looking to onboard a software program that will track and monitor verification, certificates of insurance, and safety flags as well. So with all that in, we were hoping that you would take that into consideration in, and give a little mercy to Climate Control or Climate Pros when they're trying to make these changes. And we were hoping that the board would accept a settlement offer of $1,000 fine per violation.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
$1,000 violation per violation.
The only thing is, as for administrative costs, we would need $1,000 for each violation as well.
So
one question, staff. Can you read the previous violations before this as well again?
Yes, sir. There was one previous, March 18th of 2021, they were here for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor, pled no contest, and paid $1,500.
Okay.
So that's the, but this is 3.
This would be 3 total with that one.
And what was the other one? How much?
The first one in 2021, they paid $1,500, and that was for the same violation.
Unlicensed iron.
Yeah, so my question would be on the 3rd violation, why are you offering $1,000? They initially paid $1,500.
I thought the 1,500 included the costs.
It did.
It did. It was
At the time, the cost was lower.
It was 1,500, yeah, right. Lower administrative fee at the time.
Yeah.
And will you, Kristen Brown, will you repeat the amount of the contracts that?
So the first contract, and so these are all Walmart stores, okay? They build Walmart stores. And so the first one was, they hired a J&J Steel Erectors at $58,000 on the first project, and an electrician at $47,000. So the total was $105,566.
Potential fine could have been up to $46,000.
Yes, and then the second one was, one subcontractor, the refrigeration guy, which some of it might have been plug and play, and some of it was installation, for $335,000, $387,000.
So the potential fine is $47,000, and they're offering 2?
$1,000 and $1,000.
It would be, it'd be equivalent of 4,000 total with an individual fine and cost of hearing for each of those. So.
Well, wait, I think it's only 3.
We gotta move to reject the offer first.
Second.
So hold it. I want to be clear on the offer before. So is it 1,000 per violation?
Yes.
Okay, and how many violations do we have for sure?
2.
I thought.
Well, we have actually.
It's 3 violations.
It's 3 violations.
Okay, we technically have 3 because we got 2 on one and 1 on the other.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's the total would be on 091, it would be 1,000 and 1,000. On 0097, it would be essentially 2,000 and 1,000.
Yeah, so it'd be 5,000 total.
Yes.
I move to reject the offer.
Still a second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, this is, see if she wants to do something else.
Before we impose
Are you interested in making an offer?
I would. Is it possible that I speak with the attorney on this matter?
Sure.
Okay. Can we come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Let's do something quick.
Yeah.
So board, in talking to council, Climate Pros really wants to get this resolved and understands how serious it is. So if the board wants to make a suggestion to them on an offer that they would accept, they can do that. However, I think she wants to make another offer, and in hopes that the board would accept it.
Another offer.
And before you make this offer, you understand that the issue is you guys have come before the board again. You've been, 3 times?
But 4 violations.
So 4 violations, jeez. And you offered $1,500. At some point, it's the position of the board that you write this into your pricing. And you say, you know what, at the very worst, we'll go back, we'll give these guys $1,500 and we'll just go on instead of doing the right thing.
Yes.
And so I would be very cautious when you get ready to.
Well, it's not necessarily about the money. It's got to be enough pain to get your attention in the criminal process.
And I do understand that, and I don't want y'all to be insulted by that, where there really has been a very fast shuffle of change in there because of the serious nature of this, and they terminated that contractor that kind of looked the other way.
My question, Counselor, is your client gonna be interested in continuing to develop the Walmarts in our area, in our state?
Yes, they want to continue to do
So they
this.
might wanna look at getting licensed.
No, they are
They
licensed.
are.
I mean, without
Yes.
verifying that the people that they're contracting
Yes,
with.
and that process is the process that we, as soon as April 1st, when we got the new general counsel in, we start, this is absolutely a must, we have to do this.
And I think that we, from this side, can make it clear that likely, if Climate Pros comes up before us, it's gonna be a very serious matter.
Yes.
So,
Give us your best shot. Move along.
I don't know if you're gonna like my best shot right now.
You gotta sell it, man. You gotta sell it. It seems like you like it.
Well, because I understand the nature of it, correct, and I don't want you to be insulted by it. I do have authority to offer $2,000 per violation plus the cost, so that would be a total of
six, 7, 8,
$8,000.
I'll move to accept that.
Joseph, second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. Think you did a good job the second time.
But we hope not to see you again.
I hope not to see y'all, no offense.
Not you, personally.
The next item is Subcool Refrigeration Company LLC. Are any representatives present?
Hello.
Good morning. Can you state your name and your affiliation with the company?
Yes, my name is Josue Abraham Macias, and I'm here for Subcool Refrigeration Company.
Are you the owner of
Okay,
the company?
Subcool was the sub to the previous Climate Pros, and they have obtained their license, just so we go forward on this, just to let you know.
Is this their first violation?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I had been in discussions with them. They've been working really hard to get their license, and they called this morning and said, we just got our license, can we pay that citation now? And it was too late. They would have qualified for it had they called prior to the agenda being finalized.
So they would have qualified for a no contest plea and a citation before the board. They just called here today, and if I'm sorry, your name?
I'm sorry.
What's your name?
You can just go by Abraham.
Mr. Abraham, are you willing to still do the no contest plea and
Yes.
citation? Okay.
Yes, I'll do no contest.
Do we, if one of the board members wants to accept that now, do we still have
Yes,
to
accept
go through the no contest and all that? or not?
Yes, he just confirmed that he is offering a no contest plea with the citation to the board, so the board can decide whether they want to accept that or not.
All right.
It's a $1,000 administrative cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move to accept.
Go ahead.
Second.
Can we swear him in first?
Yeah. Yes. No, I mean, since we were just going about it.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And he's offered his plea.
Move to accept.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Okay,
carries.
before he walks away, I do have to put the record in. Mr. Dawsey, the exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4, were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir, they were.
We offer those exhibits into the record and with the no contest plea.
Mr. Abraham, have you had an opportunity to review these documents? Have you had a chance to review these documents?
Yes.
Do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
No, not.
Okay, thank you. Exhibits are admitted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abraham.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item is Jose Quintanilla doing business as Rushing Ranges. Are any representatives present?
Did we assess them?
Let the record reflect that no one is present.
Mr. Landry,
Point of
did we
order.
do that? Did we do that properly? Did we need to do something after that?
We accepted his no contest,
We just did that first.
but we didn't
That's-
necessarily.
So we're okay?
Yes, we're okay.
Court costs, that's all.
That's it, court call.
Yes.
Okay.
Jose Quintanilla doing business as Rushing Ranges of Conroe, Texas is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Apocalypse Sports Project in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, in the amount of $1,200,000 $500. This is their first appearance, and we do not have an application on file.
Call Blaine Anderson.
Ms. Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4, were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, they were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Anderson, it appears that Jose Quintanilla, doing business as Rushing Ranges, was provided with notice of this violation and of this hearing date by email. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It also shows that Rushing Ranges a contractor on the installation of a shooting range in Ponchatoula, Louisiana?
Indoor shooting range, correct.
And the total amount of that contract was $1,200,500?
That's correct.
And at the time did not possess licensing with this board to perform that commercial construction work, is that correct?
Also correct.
Are they, were they the owner or they were doing the work?
We were subcontract.
Okay, they were subcontracted.
Contracted directly by the owner.
By the owner?
Correct.
Okay.
They acting as a GC?
No, they were not, yeah, they were acting as a GC. The owner was acting as the GC, is that correct?
Technically, we didn't end up charging that violation.
Okay.
We just charged Mr. Quintanilla Rushing Ranges.
Okay. And is this something that they install?
They did.
Okay.
They finished it.
They finished the job. Okay. We submit to the board that Jose Quintanilla, doing business as Rushing Ranges, is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for performing commercial construction work in the amount of $1,200,500 without possessing licensing with this board, and ask that you find him guilty of the violation and assess the appropriate fines and costs.
Second. Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries.
So, what is so the 1.25 million, or 1.2 million, I should say, is in fact Jose Quintella's actual scope of work, right? Because that's the proposal in here.
Yes, if you look at page 14, that's his original scope of work.
And the project was done?
Yes, sir. The overall project also included retail space.
Right.
This company out of Texas specializes all over the country in installing an indoor range portion of the complex, so that's all they did.
All right.
Well, they ought to know Louisiana law then.
Correct, yes, sir. Out of Texas, yes.
Mr. Anderson, let me ask you a question, just procedural. Did you find out about that they weren't licensed after the fact, or did y'all consider not shutting them? I mean, I'm just curious why we let them do one.
Sure. When I made a routine site visit, and the indoor portion, they finished the retail space as soon as they could. The firearm sales are huge right now. And then they started on the indoor portion of the range, so I showed up for a regular site visit. They were probably about 50% completed, entered the site, spoke with the gentleman, he said, I'm with Rushing Ranges out of Texas, and that started the whole, who's Rushing Ranges? I had not been informed by the general contractor of Rushing Ranges, didn't know who they were, so.
Okay. But they had a GC on the retail portion?
They did.
Okay, all right.
Licensed general contractor handled everything else.
Did they pull a permit that covered it, or?
The entire, I think it was just one permit for the entire site. I don't think it required two different permits for the, because it is attached.
So this is the build out of a particular portion of the project?
Correct. It's like Range USA here in Baton Rouge. You go in, got a retail space and an indoor range.
I'm gonna move forward with penalty.
I move to fine 50,000 plus costs.
Joseph, second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ryan Companies US Inc., are any representatives present?
Yes.
Yeah, they're regular.
Morning. I'm Ted Lapperouse on behalf of Ryan Companies. This is my client, Brad Hill. Flew in from Tampa last night. He's an officer of the company. Ryan.
Okay, Mr. Hill, do you plan on testifying this morning?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
So what is the other, where's the other one?
And can I make a request? We also have, we're number 6 and number 10, if we could possibly consolidate those two.
We have no objection to consolidating the two.
Move to consolidate.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries.
Yes.
Ryan Companies US Inc. of Minneapolis, Minnesota is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for entering into contracts with unlicensed contractors to perform work at 600 through 610 Savoy Road in Youngsville, Louisiana, in the amount of $179,714. This is for case number 2023-1384-01. Ryan Companies US Inc. is also before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor to perform work at 11650 Louisiana Highway 92 in Maurice, Louisiana, in the amount of $125,402.61. That case number is 2023-1264-01. This is their third appearance before the board. They were here in January of 2018 for entering into contracts with 4 unlicensed contractors, pled no contest, and offered a settlement of $4,500, which was paid. They were here again May 16th of 2024 for entering into contracts with 2 unlicensed contractors, pled no contest, and offered a settlement of $3,000, which was paid. They've held a commercial license since October 21st of 2004.
Counsel, you're offering a plea for your client?
Yes, no contest.
For both case numbers?
For both case numbers.
Okay.
Sean will move to accept for both.
Till the second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries.
Call John LeBlanc.
Mr. LeBlanc has been sworn.
Mr. LeBlanc, we're going to go to, we're going to take them actually in order. So we're going to go to 2023-1264-01. Where there's exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business to license the board for contractors for this matter involving Ryan Companies?
Yes.
We'll offer those exhibits into the record.
Any objection, counsel?
No objection.
No objection, exhibits are admitted.
For matter 2023-1384-01, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4, were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business? The exhibits, were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business to license the board for contractors for that matter involving Ryan Companies?
Yes.
We offer those exhibits into the record.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibits are admitted.
If in the exhibit packet of 1264-01, Mr. LeBlanc, it appears that Ryan Companies had a contract to build a charter school. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in that charter school, there was a contract with an unlicensed contractor in the amount of $125,402.61. Is that correct?
Correct.
In the matter 2023-1384-01, Ryan Companies again was building another charter school. Is that correct?
Correct.
And there was a contract with a fencing company, it appears, to install fencing. Is that right?
Correct.
And then with a installer of cabinets, is that correct?
Correct.
And then, so as to the installer of cabinets, it appears that there was a labor contract for $9,150, is that right?
Correct.
And then what ended up happening to get it to a violation is that the materials exceeded $50,000, is that correct?
Correct.
And the fencing contractor, the labor and materials exceeded $50,000, is that correct?
Correct.
And that was in matter 1384-01, is that correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Any questions for this witness, counsel?
No.
Okay, any further witnesses?
I have no further witnesses and, no further witnesses.
Okay, would you like to make an appeal to the board regarding penalty?
Yes, we would like to make a settlement offer. It's important to note, my client is very contrite about appearing today. They've been licensed themselves since 2004. They've also, in regard to the last violations in contracting with subcontractors, they've got policies, they had policies in place to ensure that their subs were licensed. And actually, their contract requires it, and they also ask for their subcontractor's license number. In this case, the subs had licenses, they were just residential licenses. They were not commercial. My client understands the situation. They've got, they've now revamped their policies again to ensure that their subcontractors do have the appropriate licenses. As I understand it, in addition, the cabinetry sub that had the residential license was only hired as an installer. And the value of his contract was like less than $10,000, but when you added the materials in, which were supplied by someone else, it exceeded the amount. The other contractor, the fencing contractor, again, had the residential license, and as I understand it, both of those subs have now applied for commercial licenses. So it's a very, they take it very seriously.
Well, let me just stop you right there, Mr. Laprousse. So and on that point, Alden Tate, who was the fencing contractor, has a license, and he is a citation here today. So he has obtained his license as it relates to this project.
Right.
You, go ahead.
Thanks. And so we would like to propose for the two matters, because it was the same sub really on two projects. Two schools that are being built in the western part of the state. We would like to propose $3,000 and $3,000 for those. And
move to accept. I'll second.
Oh, wait.
What's plus cost?
Let's and so I'm clear, Ted. Are we on 1384.01, or is this for the whole project? For both projects?
For both projects, yes.
Okay. So 3,001, 3,001.
That would be for the costs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 8,000.
Yeah.
So we have an offer of 3,000 and 3,000 and 1,000 costs each. So 8,000. So Mr. Lambert, do you want to?
Yeah.
Now, there were 3 violations.
We'll get to the discussion. So we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
I just want to clarify your offer. It's for each violation or for each?
For each
Yes, ma'am. It was the same sub was on two projects.
Each case.
Each
Each case, 3,000 at plus 1 and 3,000 plus 1 is what we're looking at. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Hill, again, this is for, now, you heard us before. It's not about the money, it's about doing the right thing and making sure that you use properly licensed contractors and you follow the law. So we appreciate you coming here. It's important for us to see that you make a representation here personally, but we'd rather you not have to travel again. All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you, guys.
All Star Premier Homes LLC, are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect the known as present on behalf of All Star Premier Homes LLC.
We have a settlement offer. All Star Premier Homes LLC of Metairie, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor to perform plumbing work at 2150 Church Street in Vacherie, Louisiana, in the amount of $11,600. This is their second appearance. They were here in July of 2021 for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor, pled no contest, and paid $1,500. They've held a residential license since April of 2010 and a commercial license since September of 2012. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call Blaine Anderson.
Mr. Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business for licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, they were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Move to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Bebop Plumbing LLC, are any representatives present?
Can you state your name and your affiliation with the company?
Tyler Wilson, the owner.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Bebop Plumbing LLC of Greenville Springs, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform plumbing work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 45370 Maple Drive in Hammond, Louisiana, in the amount of $11,600. This is their first appearance. They applied for their license on October 21st of 2024. It is still pending. He has a master plumber's license with the plumbing board.
Mr. Wilson, how do you wish to plead to the allegations?
No contest. Move to accept.
To accept.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Call Blaine Anderson.
Mr. Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensed board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, they were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Wilson, have you had an opportunity to review those documents? Do you have any objection to those documents being entered to the record?
No.
Thank you. Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Anderson, it appears that Bebop Plumbing entered into an agreement to perform plumbing work in the amount of $11,600. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. No further questions.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
No other questions.
Mr. Wilson, do you have any questions for? Okay. Would you like to make an appeal to the board regarding penalty?
Nah, I waited too long to apply, so.
So let me understand.
Yes, sir.
You're a master plumber?
Yes, sir.
Now, and how did we get here, Inspector?
Just doing routine compliance for residential in my area, in my region, and I conducted a site visit. Generally, I get there pretty early, around dirt pad or the formation of the slab forming. So anyway, I believe in this case, the dirt pad was down. I submitted an email request to the general, who was licensed, obviously. The general sent me his mechanical, electrical, plumbing subcontractors, and Bebop was unlicensed. They had submitted an estimate. And at that point, they're technically in violation for submitting the estimate. Hanson Construction had not yet entered into a contract. I contacted Hanson and said, oh, got a problem here. Didn't want him to subsequently, unknowingly, also pick up a violation.
Yes, he did give me the chance. I was notified that I needed to do it, and I was lazy. It took too long. So, yeah, I'm just being completely honest here.
So did he do any work?
Yeah, I completed the home. I did the home. But as soon as I got the letter in the mail, I applied, and that's where I'm at right now. At the end of this month, I'm going to have it done.
So the licensure is pending disposition of this case, is it?
It's just pending. It had nothing to do with this case.
Just pending, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's been pending since October, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir, it has. What's taking so long? Life. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I ain't got no excuse. It should have been handled. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Well, he's got a recommendation for you. He got a little incentive for you. How's that?
No, I'm gonna have it done.
All right, so look, that's good. I'm glad he said that. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So I'm gonna move to fine you the max penalty, $11,600 to be reduced.
No, it's $11,600 project. So the max fine is $1,100.
Oh, $1,100. $1,100, $60.
Yes, sir.
$160 to be reduced to $500 plus $1,000 if you get licensed in 120 days.
Yes, sir. That'll work.
That'll work. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. How'd you get Bebop, by the way? What's the real, how did that name come about?
It was my best friend's name. He passed away.
Oh, fantastic,
Oh, man.
fantastic. What a great story.
Retirement Industries, and that break half on the interstate, that boom.
Yeah. Oh, wow, wow.
Good.
All right. Appreciate you honoring it, yeah.
It's Oracle Construction LLC, are any representatives present?
Can you say your name and your affiliation with the company? Okay. You already raised your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Can you speak into the microphone for me?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you.
Oracle Construction LLC of Metairie, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for permitting the contractor's license to be used by another contractor when the other contractor does not hold a license for the classification of work for which the contract is entered on the Stell Furniture Project in Luling, Louisiana, in the amount of $429,381.50. This is their first appearance. They held a residential license from October of 16 until October of 18 when it expired. They've held the commercial license since October of 2014.
So how do you plead to the allegations? How do you plead to the allegations?
No contest.
Move to accept.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Call Lori LaRose.
Mr. Rose has been sworn.
Ms. LaRose, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the Licensing Board for Contractors?
They were.
We'll offer those exhibits into the record of this matter.
Mr. Gray, have you had an opportunity to review those documents?
I looked over them briefly, yes.
Do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No, I've never seen them before today.
But you had an opportunity to review them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no objection, exhibits are admitted.
Ms. LaRose, according to the documents, it appears that Oracle Construction LLC pulled a permit to perform work on a project. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did Oracle perform any work on the project?
No, sir.
Okay. So another contractor performed the work?
That's correct.
And the total amount of that was $429,381.50. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It looks like the permit indicated that the work was around $500,000. Is that right?
That's correct.
No further questions.
Mr. Gray, do you have any questions for this witness?
Pardon?
Do you have any questions for this witness?
I didn't pull the permit.
Do you have any questions
No.
for this witness? Okay, thank you. Any other witnesses, counsel?
No further witnesses.
Would you like to make, Mr. Gray, would you like to make an appeal to the board regarding penalty or an offer?
I'm a man of modest means. I didn't know about this until it was too late. I would never let someone use my license. And
Can you speak a little closer to the mic, please?
I didn't know my license was used. I didn't sign the permit. I've never been in the permit office. This individual was a friend of my old landlord commercially, and I was supposed to be the GC for this job for 13% of the total work. I was supposed to do everything as well as run the job. By the time I found out it was too late, I went to the site and met with the ownership, explained to them that I had no idea, told them I would do anything possible to remedy this. And then their friend was a state's attorney, I believe, so then we ended up here. I humbly apologize. I had no idea.
Is it
That's the
Mr.
investigation.
Gray? Well, let me ask a question here. Mr. Gray,
Sir,
do you know Quality Diamond Product LLC?
I met him through my old landlord at my commercial building. I have 2 businesses.
And did you give them permission to pull a permit in your name?
No, sir.
Did you go and pull this permit?
No, sir.
How did you find out that it was pulled?
I found out, I got an email asking about fire suppression. The individual in question was supposed to do the plumbing and the slab. I questioned him about it, and he kept putting me off and putting me off and putting me off. I was going through some health issues at the time, so I wasn't really able to get out and see it. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Mr. Steele and his father saying that I was about to be sued. So of course, I went over and spoke to them and explained my position. And they said that Mr. Bricknack is a relative that they've had issues with in the past. And this is where we're at now.
Ms. LaRose, what did your investigation find out about the use of the permit?
Explain what you're asking.
Huh? What? I'm sorry?
Say it again.
What information did you find out about the pulling of the permit? So the board can understand.
To my understanding, the permit was pulled. Oracle was supposed to do the work along with Quality Diamond.
No, ma'am.
What was?
Where did you get that? Why did you say that? Your investigation showed what you just said?
What does the permit say, actually?
In the documents, he is on the permit, and Quality Diamond did all the work on the project.
Who signed the permit?
It looks like the owner signed the permit.
Bricknack, the individual in question, sir.
So it lists
The permit lists Oracle Construction.
List
as the-
Oracle, but Oracle did not sign it. The owner of the property signed it.
Correct.
All right. And your testimony is that you had no knowledge of pulling the permit? You didn't give him the authorization?
Sir, I've only been to Luling twice, and that's to go to Gosher. I've never been to the permit office, I've never seen it. When I spoke to Ms. LaRose, I asked if they pulled up any CCTV to see who actually signed the permit, because I know that I never did. I entered into a contract with every sub I've ever had to make sure that I'm covered, the client's covered. No contract was drawn.
What permit office is
I don't know what.
What permit?
It said no, you know.
So you did work on the project?
Did you do work on the project?
No, sir. First time I stepped on the project was with the owner's father and son, Mr. and Mr. Steele. I went to talk to them after they called me. Then they took me to the site where the work was done.
You said you originally got with the agreement, you were gonna get 13% to be the contractor.
Yes, he asked me to be the GC.
So you were aware of the project?
I was aware of it, but I was not aware of it starting.
And so you had to went to the project to give that quote or not?
No, I hadn't given a quote. I haven't done
Then how
anything.
did you come up with a quote of 13% of the job?
That's just his management fee.
Was
You
it cost
said
plus?
charge management fee.
No, that's what the individual offered me to be a part of the job, to run the job, to be the general contractor. That was his bait for me.
Did you get paid anything?
No,
And you did no work?
no work.
You never saw the property? You never saw the project?
No, sir.
There's no signed contract.
No, sir.
Not that well.
If you could, let me ask Ms. LaRose a question here. Ms. LaRose, did you have a conversation with Mr. Gray?
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Gray indicate to you that he was going to work with Quality Construction to partner on performing this project?
He did. Yes, sir.
And so, in your investigation, it appeared that they were working almost as a joint venture. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Gray, you do know Quality Construction, correct? You know Mr. You know who the
I've
owner-
met the guy several times.
And did you work with him or partner with him to work as a joint venture in performing this project where you were going to be paid the 13%?
No,
So how is it that you found out that you were going to be paid 13%?
he offered to in the beginning.
Who did?
Derek Ricknack.
The owner?
He's not the owner. He's a friend of the family.
Okay. So is he with Quality?
Yes, sir, he is.
Okay. So he offered you 13% on the front end?
Yes.
Right.
No. As for the job, from start to finish, I was supposed to be the GC.
And did you give him permission to go pull the permit because of that 13%?
No, sir.
You have anything in writing, or all this is verbal?
All verbal.
How much were you supposed to give for the 13%? It was total of the
I
project.
didn't even know the amount of the job.
So you just said, I'll take 13%.
Well, I needed the job. I needed the work. I got diagnosed
So-
with aortic aneurysm and I couldn't really work anymore. So I needed work, I needed money.
When did you have this conversation with about 13%? Before the job started, was there any work going on?
Well before. He was struggling to get, there was some kind of drainage ditch or something next to it, or culvert next to the property, and he asked me if I could find a civil engineer to sign off on something. I went to a civil engineer, and her words to me were, no one signs off on something like this without seeing it.
Ms. Evans, how long has this gentleman been licensed?
Since 2014.
Since 14. How many other times has he been?
This is the first violation.
This is his first violation
Yes,
since
sir.
2014? All right.
Ms. LaRose,
Yes, sir.
so did the people from Quality, and that's the other contractor, right?
Quality Diamond, yes, sir.
Is there somebody from Quality here today?
Quality has asked for continuance today. They're not, they had something that, there was an issue that, and we were going to grant them a continuance for here today.
All right, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
We'd love to have him up here and stand side by side. I'm not opposed to actually continuing this case, quite frankly, but to have them side by side, get to the bottom of this. I don't know what your thoughts are,
You have
so.
the authority to do that?
Excuse me, Mr.
Well,
May I
we-
ask
Yeah.
Mr. Gray,
Sir?
did you do any other jobs with these people?
No, sir.
And have you ever loaned your license or had a situation like this?
No, sir.
So we're clear, we do have a no contest plea before the board.
Right.
And he's made a no contest plea. We have, I think you can kind of understand where we are on it. I think you can issue, appropriate, relief at this point. And if Mr. Gray appears here again in the future, you know how to handle it.
I think the problem is, if we heard the other side, it might determine how much the fine's going to be. We're only hearing one side, so I agree with you, we can close it right now, but we may find some more information and say, well, we shouldn't have done this. That's the only problem I see, so yes, we can close it.
But what's his offer? That's all I like to hear first.
It's a no contest.
Yeah.
Which you've already accepted a no
You've
contest.
already accepted no contest.
It's settled. You made a settlement offer or no?
I don't know what a proper payment would be. This is
My
the first time I've ever
feeling
done
is, we're not
this.
having a second opinion, we're not sure exactly where the truth, if what you're saying is factual, I say we dismiss it with a court call. If it's not, that's a problem.
Well, we don't.
Okay.
We got a no contest.
We've accepted a no contest plea from him. He's made a no contest plea.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I move we fine 2,500 plus 1,000.
Joseph second.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second on the table, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's
Let's just do it.
roll call. You ready?
Lee Mallett,
Yes.
William Cluett,
Yes.
Brian Bordelon,
Yes.
Noah Broussard,
Absent.
Kristen Brown,
Yes.
Kim DiGiovanni,
Yes.
Courtney Finay,
No.
David Gallo,
Yes.
Adam Gwynn,
Yes.
Curtis Joseph,
Yes.
Donald Lambert,
No.
Garland Meredith,
No.
Christopher Stewart,
No.
Elliot Temple,
Yes.
Keith Tillage.
Yes.
That is a yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Yeah.
All right, next case, thank you.
Closely monitor the other case, sir. Everybody.
Oh, I'm gonna monitor with him later on today.
Okay, the next item is Quality Diamond Products LLC. I received an email from them yesterday stating they're out of town and would like to request a continuance.
Move to continue.
And what's his reason for continuance?
They just said they're out of town and requested a continuance.
And they knew they had a meeting today?
They could have been out of town here.
Somebody make, we're gonna make a motion, yes or no? We'll give it to him, give me a motion. Not, give me another motion, no.
I'd like to make a motion, what's that?
I move that we hear the case today, not give it
Got a second on
You
that?
deny the motion for continuance. Have a motion and a second?
I second.
All right, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any opposed? Motion carried. Let's go.
Okay. They did not
Get them both back.
So we're back here, which they knew that was a possibility. Quality Diamond Products LLC of St. Rose, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Stale Furniture Project in Luling, Louisiana in the amount of $429,381.50. This is their third appearance. They were here in 2014 for not having a commercial license, pled no contest, and was fined $4,500. Of that $4,500, $3,895 is still owed, and it's been turned over to the Attorney General's office for collection. They were here in November of 2023 for not having a home improvement registration, found guilty, fined $3,180. That full amount is still owed, and it is at the AG's office for collection. They applied for a commercial license in June of 2014, but never followed through, and that application was written off.
Call Lori LaRose.
Ms. LaRose has been sworn.
Ms. LaRose, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter involving Quality Diamond Products?
They were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of Quality Diamond Products LLC, and the exhibits are admitted.
According to the records, Ms. LaRose, it appears that Quality Diamond Products LLC was provided with notice of this hearing by certified mail and of its violations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The records also show that Quality Diamond Products LLC performed work on a commercial project without licensing with this board. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Also shows that the amount of that work, according to payments and invoicing, was $429,381.50. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We submit to the board that Quality Diamond Products LLC is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for failing to possess the licensing with this board to perform work on a commercial construction project in which they performed work in the amount of $429,381.50. I ask that you find them guilty of that violation and issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find them guilty.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for guilty. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Move to find the max plus cost.
We have a motion and a second for max fine plus cost. Any discussion? All in favor?
I'd like to point out that this all came up on a complaint, and the owners, the complaint from the property owner, and, not only did they do the license lease, they also really screwed this owner in a bond as well.
Appreciate your point. Appreciate you pointing that out.
The discussion of the motion, again, I'm only my fourth meeting back, so this guy already got a max penalty, decided not to pay it in his previous fine. Is it tradition where you would do some type of suspension in this case?
He's not licensed.
He's not licensed, so we can't.
You can't hold him off.
Yeah. Miss, let's see, Ms. LaRose, have you had a chance to speak with Quality?
Quality Diamond. I haven't spoken to them since, November of 2023.
Yeah. And have they been forthcoming?
No, sir.
Okay, that's good to know.
All we can do is
All right, so we'll turn this over at some point in time. So we have a motion and a second for maximum fine plus costs. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
We've already handled item number 10, so we'll move to 11A. Brandon Ty Vu, doing business as O'Marion Construction, or any representatives present.
Can you state your name, sir?
Brandon Vu.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Brandon Ty Vu, doing business as O'Marion Construction of Prairieville, Louisiana, is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana state contractor's license, and for falsely representing or advertising regarding the person's license status or classification on the Baskin-Robbins project in Prairieville, Louisiana, in the amount of $117,775. This is his first appearance. He has not applied for a license in his name. However, Brandon Ty Van Vu is listed as the only member and qualifier for Stacks Construction LLC, which has held a commercial license and a residential license since May 24th of 2024.
Mr. Vu, how do you plead to the allegations?
No contest.
move to accept.
We have a motion and a second to accept no contest plea. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Call Clay Rivas.
Mr. Rivas has been sworn.
Mr. Rivas, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir, they were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Vu, have you had an opportunity to review these documents?
I have.
Do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
I do not.
Okay. The exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Rivas, according to the documents, it appears that Brandon Vu, doing business as O'Marion Construction, entered into a contract to perform work on a Baskin-Robbins project in Prairieville, Louisiana. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And that contract is listed at Exhibit 2 D at page 17 and 18, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's
And
correct.
the total amount of that was $117,775, is that correct?
I believe so, yes, sir.
And at the time was not a licensed contractor with this board under that name, is that correct?
That's correct.
This contract was in 4/4/2023, is that correct?
I'm sorry, say that again?
It was in 4/4/20, it says date is April 4th of 2023, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did they perform work on the project?
Yes, sir, they did.
And were they acting as the general on the project?
Yes, sir, O'Marion Construction, Mr. Vu's company was the general contractor for the project.
And as it relates to the charge of representing that they had a license, explain that to the board?
So, in obtaining the permit, there was use of a license where there's a text string between the permit technician and the applicant where they had said that they must be a licensed contractor, and the person responding said, yes, they are, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but in the first exhibit, in that string, they were saying yes, they were identifying themselves as a licensed contractor.
Is the work complete?
Yes, sir, it is.
No further questions?
Mr. Vu, do you have any questions for this witness?
For Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
I do not.
Okay. Would you like to make a plea or an offer to the board as a penalty?
Yes, ma'am. So during that period, my lack of education has caused me to be here today. As I worked for my father, which was the license holder, for many years, 20 plus years, and I was under the direct supervision and guidance from him, which I did not have the education at the time that his sole proprietorship listed on the license. You're not allowed to operate as anything other than. As Mr. Rivas visited me in my office, and that was my first line of education to that. My father has had a stroke, and he's retired, and since I have went and acquired my commercial and residential license to continue my services for all my customer base. So at the time of the Baskin Robbins project, I did indeed pull the permit for the project with my father's license, with his direct guidance, as we were both active in the business at the time. So I leaned on him for the education of whether I'm working within the allowances of the contractors board. So for that, I apologize, and I just didn't know. And so Mr. Rivas came into my office, and he did ask me, he said, who is O'Marion Construction? And I said, well, that would be me, and that's what we call our company. He said, well, you cannot do that. And that day, I said, okay, do I need to stop progress on Baskin Robbins right now and change some things, get some things right? And he said, no, you're already this far into the project, go ahead and finish. And so I did. After that project was finished was around the time my father had a stroke, and he retired and submitted, he's turning in his license to the board, and I got my license, so that I'm doing everything by law. And so that was the problem. And I value my relationship with my subcontractors very much, and I would never put their license or their pocketbook in jeopardy whatsoever, because I'm all about doing things right and by the book. And so that's it.
And you're currently licensed, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right.
He's currently licensed under Stacks Construction.
And the subcontractors believe that they were contracting with O'Marion?
Yes, sir. Yes, and so, as I went to Secretary of State, registered Stacks Construction as a company because I wanted to operate as a business name under an LLC. And had I not learned that, I may have gotten my license under my own name, but I would like to be able to wear the shirt and bear the name of my business. And so I did it that way. So I'm the license holder for Stacks Construction now. And that's what I'm operating as today. And,
All right. Move to fund 500 plus 1,000.
Second. Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
A Plus Maintenance LLC, or any representatives present.
Can you state your name and your affiliation with the company?
Robert Smith, owner.
Can you speak into the microphone for me?
Robert Smith, owner.
Mrs. Smith, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
A Plus Maintenance LLC of Zachary, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform plumbing work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Baskin-Robbins project in Prairieville, Louisiana, in the amount of $15,175. This is their first appearance. They held a commercial license from September of 2011 until September of 2020 when it expired. He is licensed with the Plumbing Board and has obtained his current commercial license with us on November 7th of 2023.
Mr. Smith, how do you plead to the allegations?
No contest.
Move to accept.
Second. Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Call Clay Rivas.
Mr. Rivas has been sworn.
Mr. Rivas, in front of you exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business, the licensing board for contractor for this matter involving A Plus Maintenance LLC?
Yes, sir, they were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Smith, have you had a chance to review these documents?
Yes.
Do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
No.
No objection, the exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Rivas, according to the documents, it appears that A Plus Maintenance entered into an agreement to perform plumbing work in the amount of $15,175. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Was that labor material?
Yes, sir.
And at the time did not possess licensing with this board to perform that work. Is that correct?
I believe his license, yes, sir, that's correct.
It had expired?
Yes, sir.
And then I think it was renewed. What was the day it was renewed?
No, it expired in 2020, and then he reapplied and obtained his license about a month after this violation occurred.
No further questions.
I had no idea my license had expired.
Mr. Smith, do you have any questions for Mr. Rivas?
No.
Okay. Counsel, any more witnesses are?
No further questions.
Okay. Mr. Rivas, would you like to make a plea to the board or an offer as the penalty?
That's, Mr. Reeves.
Did I say Mr. Rivas or Mr. Smith? I'm so sorry. Mr. Smith, would you like to make a plea to the board or an offer as to the penalty?
No, it's just, me and my wife do our billing, and we do it through invoices. We don't do emails. And then we got supposedly we got an email saying that we were, it was time to renew our license. I didn't get that email. So apparently my license lapsed. We're always on time with our bills. We rely on mail to pay our bills. That's just the way it happened.
All right. We've got a no contest plea. You heard her statement. Any more questions? And again, this is the violation for acting as a contractor to perform plumbing work without possession of a state contractor license.
But he's got a license enforced now?
Yes, sir. He obtained the new license on November 7th of 2023.
It lapsed during this construction.
Yeah, when Mr. Rivas called me, I was unaware that it lapsed.
All right.
So I immediately came down here to make sure.
And how long was it lapsed again?
It expired in 2020.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, your license lapsed and you hadn't paid?
I had no idea it was lapsed.
That's really what it's, that's what it's.
Until he told me, I had no idea.
All right, so let's go ahead. Any, what are the wishes of the?
I'll say we find $500 plus costs.
Temple second.
We have a motion and a second for 500 plus costs. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Winds Electrical LLC, or any representatives present.
Can you state your name and your affiliation with the company, sir?
My name is David Wynn with Winds Electrical LLC.
Are you the owner?
Yes, I'm the owner.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wins Electrical LLC of Gonzales, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor to perform electrical work on the Baskin-Robbins project in Prairieville, Louisiana, in the amount of $12,000. This is their first appearance, and they've held a commercial license since November of 2022.
Mr. Wynn, how do you plead to the allegation?
Plead no contest.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for no contest plea. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Call Clay Rivas.
Mr. Rivas has been sworn.
Mr. Rivas, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter involving Wins Electrical?
Yes, sir, they were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Wynn, have you had a chance to review these documents?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record? Okay. No objection, exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Rivas, it appears that Wins Electrical entered into an agreement with Omarion to perform electrical work on the Baskin-Robbins job in Prairieville. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And at the time, Wynn had a license to perform that electrical work. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But Omarion was not licensed at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And that's why they're here today. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? All right. No further questions. And the total amount was $12,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions.
Council, Ms. Evans, what was the timeline between the project and the lapse or the forfeiture of the Omarion license?
There was no Omarion license, that's forfeit. There's a license in his.
Dad's name.
In Tad's name.
And
That's what
he
I'm saying,
thought, and he thought he
Omarion.
was, yeah, he said he was working under his dad's guidance or supervision or.
But all, the communications are between Omarion Construction
Yes.
in that. So there was no actual Omarion Construction in existence. Were they ever licensed, Omarion?
No. Okay,
all right.
Let me ask a question. Mr. Had you ever done business with the gentleman that owned the Marion? So,
Yes.
so you were under the assumption that it was the same exact thing of what you were doing?
Yes, sir. We actually, his dad and I, we took tests the same day.
Okay.
And we, Brandon and I kind of grew up together.
And you had no reason to think that this wasn't
No
a
reason
licensed
at all to
contract?
think that, yes.
All right, I got it. Yeah, so,
Wait, just so I understand. You're saying that his dad being Omarion?
so what?
Mr. Vu's dad.
So Mr. Vu's dad, you guys had worked for them before. When you were working for Mr. Vu, there was no reason for you to think that this wasn't the same company and the same license contract.
Right.
Right. So you understand what I'm saying? So he's like, hey, I worked with this guy before. Mr. Vu was stepping out on his own, it seems, and didn't was working for them, but his new company wasn't licensed. But had you done it under the dad's company, which was still licensed, we wouldn't even be here, right? Is that the case, or am I missing something?
That's Ted, no. We need to look fire that. I think.
Was he working with Dad?
Could I offer some clarity?
Yes, please do.
Substantially correct. Dad, Mr. Vu's father, was licensed in an individual name. Omarion or Marion, whatever that is, that doesn't exist. That's a DBA. It was never an entity. It was never licensed. He used it as a trade name.
And I think the confusion here on the board is that they were previously licensed and Omarion was that name, but at the end of the day, but all the communications is addressed to, these contracts to Omarion Construction.
Hence the citation to Mr. Vu
Right.
for not being properly licensed.
Correct.
But let me ask the question. So his dad was licensed in an individual name.
Correct.
Did he do business as Omarion Construction?
I don't know, because we're not dealing with Dad.
Okay, right.
We're dealing with son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. No, all right.
I think they were looking for.
I know what they're looking for, but I just, whatever decision you make, fine. I just want you to be clear. I understand the gentleman's position. He thought he was doing it because that's what he'd been doing with the father, but the father never had a license under Marion or Omarion.
Did you actually enter a written contract?
Provided a bid.
We provided a bid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Webb, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, we all grew up together. I did work for his father, and, Brandon has worked for me at points in times of his life, and I knew his dad had a stroke, and I was just under the assumption that, Ty was carrying on the company.
Yep.
He may have changed the name or whatever, but, I didn't question that.
And you've been licensed throughout this time as electrician?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, what are the wishes?
I think that, This fall right in line with the previous two.
That's right.
$500 plus cost.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for $500 plus costs. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. I think that was, Mr. Wynn, I think that was a very generous offer to you. Check the licensure and both of you. You're familiar with the app that we have, the licensure
Yes,
app?
sir.
Should be no question about it.
Yeah.
Not only confirm that they're licensed, but confirm they're operating in any contract, any communications, all should be, any payment should be in the name of the actual licensure.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
We've learned a lot. We were looking at the permit in the permit office as kind of the liaison as to keeping the people truthful. And we went and signed our permit. It was a legit license that they identified. But, after talking to council over here, they said that's not usable.
That's a lesson to verify licensure here with the licensing board.
Right.
Don't always trust what the permit office says. Unfortunately, that's the case. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, thank you.
All right, good luck.
JP Masonry, Inc., are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect the known as president on behalf of JP Masonry, Inc.
We have a settlement offer. JP Masonry, Inc. of Texarkana, Arkansas is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Rocket Fast Car Wash Project in Shreveport, Louisiana, in the amount of $207,814. This is their first appearance. They held a commercial license from July of '03 until July of 2018 when it expired. They have obtained their current commercial license on February 27th of 2025. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Call John Eatman.
Mr. Eaton has been sworn.
Stephen, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Stephen, appears that the violation, I'm sorry, submit the settlement offer for consideration.
I move that we accept the offer. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
MAC Construction LLC, are any representatives present?
You make your appearance, counsel?
Hi, Adrian Darcy on behalf of MAC Construction LLC. We're here to present a settlement offer to put it into a statement of no contest and an offer of $1,000 administrative fee and $8,000 fine.
We're gonna bring them up and do it one at a time.
You'll have that chance to do all that.
Appreciate you though. Thanks. Well, let's wait.
Efficiencies.
MAC Construction LLC of Kenner, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor to perform plumbing work at 517 Montgomery Avenue in Metairie, Louisiana, in the amount of $15,000. This is their second appearance. They were here March 17th of 2021 for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor and paid a $500 citation. That appearance before the board was on this same project that they're here for today. They've held a commercial license since 2007 and a residential license since 2006.
Counsel, how do you plead for your client?
And again, I'd like to enter a statement of no contest.
Move to accept.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next.
What? Can we, you mentioned this is the same project. Why would there be a different project?
They were brought up at a different time. They just came before you at a different time. I think probably through discovery, we discovered this one, but.
Some additional violation?
Yeah, on the same project.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So, let me call Robert Mertens first.
Mr. Mertens has been sworn.
Mr. Mertens, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we offer the exhibits into the record.
Counsel, do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
No objection.
No objection, exhibits are admitted.
And Mr. Mertens, according to the documents, it appears that MAC Construction had entered into a contract with an unlicensed plumber in the amount of $15,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That plumber was a master plumber but was not licensed with this board. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions.
Any questions for this witness, counsel?
No questions.
Council, you can make your offer to the board.
As noted earlier, we would offer to pay a fee, an administrative fee of $1,000 and a penalty of $1,000. We would ask maybe that the board considering this is basically the same violation from 2021, maybe consider waiving some of that and lowering that amount. As since that project occurred, Mac Construction is getting on the app, is double checking to make sure that its subcontractors are properly licensed. This is a case of Mac Construction not knowing. This project's the only violation Mac has had since it's been in business. So while we recognize ignorance of the law is not a defense, this should have been taken care of probably in 2021 when that investigation was done. So,
let me be clear. So you made an offer of $2,500, right? Plus, what was it?
No,
2,000.
1,000.
What you offer today?
That's the offer.
Yeah, he made it 3 times. All right, so but you were asking for that to be reduced, even made the offer.
If you would,
no.
So we had a $500 fine assessed and $1,000 cost on the same project?
No, sir. Previously, it was a $500 citation.
This is before we changed our administrative fees.
What was the total?
The total fine amount?
No.
Yeah,
motion to accept the offer.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I'd like to present, though, thank you for accepting that offer, is just, I think this board needs to know how this homeowner at issue has used the last plea of no contest back in 2021. I'm going to hand the package. I understand this is not part of the evidence, but you all can circulate it. It's important that the board knows that, obviously a entry of no contest is not a guilty plea to anything. This man, Mr. McCready, ended up getting arrested because of that no contest. The homeowner pressed it. And importantly, if you look at the civil petition that was filed on page 6 of that petition, you don't need to look at it now, you will see that the homeowner has used that no contest entry back in 2001 to plead. This matter has now been adjudicated, and Mac Construction has been found guilty of construction fraud, and that this is a basis to pierce the corporate veil. And I just, even though this has nothing to do with the board, I think it's important that the board knows how sometimes maybe its rulings, its agendas, its documentation may be misused at a later stage. So I just thought it was important to raise that issue with the board, and it's
and again, all we rule on is licensure here. Certainly not civil. We understand that, but either he had a license or he didn't. That's the bottom line. We said he didn't, and you said he did. So we appreciate that. But thanks for informing us.
Thank you.
The next item, Jeff Savoy. Are any representatives present?
William Humphrey on behalf of Jeff Savoy.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Humphrey.
Humphrey.
Jeff Savoy of Harahan, Louisiana, is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform plumbing work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 517 Montgomery Avenue in Medley, Louisiana, in the amount of $15,000. This is his first appearance. He has not applied with us. According to the Plumbing Board's website, he was a master natural gas fitter and master plumber. On their website, it does say that those licenses are inactive and that he is retired.
Counsel, how do you plead on behalf of your client?
No contest.
Move to accept.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Call Robert Mertens.
Mr. Mertens has been sworn.
Mr. Mertens, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of licensed board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Any objection, Mr. Humphrey?
No objection.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Mertens, according to the documents, it appears that Mr. Savoy performed plumbing work in the amount of $15,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
At the time was not licensed with this board, is that correct?
That's correct.
But did have a master plumber's license at that time, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. No further questions. As Mr. Mumphrey, if you'd like to make an offer, I know you mentioned something that you can to the board.
Yes, I would like to offer a fine of $500 and $1,000 in costs. And I just want to say he's been a master plumber since 1991. I know it's not a defense, but he was unaware that he needed an additional license with this board. And since 2024, he's been retired, so there's no longer a need for him to get a license.
I move to accept Mr. Hambrick.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Items 14 and 15 are both Backwoods Fabricators and Foundation Specialties, Inc. I received an email stating that Mr. Forrest is currently hospitalized and they would like to request a continuance.
Can we be quiet as we exit the room? Thank you.
I move to continue.
Is that both matters, correct?
Yes, sir. Items 14 and 15.
Continue for both.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Stark, you did quite well.
Oh, thank you.
Citations have been paid.
Yeah, as we have been requested, we're gonna have to introduce those packets into the evidence on the field citations, and I'll just call them out and enter them in. Branham Mechanical, Inc., 2024-0345-05. Contact Contractors, 2025-0072-01. Pinnacle Tile and Flooring, Inc., 2024-0351-02. Alden Tate Jr., 2023-1384-02. Bentel Brothers Plumbing, LLC, 2024-0650-02. Griffiths Construction, LLC, 2024-0638-01. Story Construction Company, LLC, 2024-0351-01. Fire and Ice Heating and Air, 2023-1287-06. Edison Solar Limited Liability Company, 2024-0932-02. And JCS Pave, LLC, 2024-0957-02. We'll offer introduction of all the exhibits attached to all of those packets.
Exhibits are admitted.
Thank you.
Motion to accept.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under continuances, item F1, Kevin Ingram, Marlon Williams, or any representatives present?
Can we move the other one up if somebody's indisposed at the time? Well,
Good morning, sorry for the jury holding this process. Carl Perkins representing Spark Operations and Kevin Williams.
Mr. Williams, is that Mr. Williams sitting on side of you? Do you plan on testifying this morning?
Well, no, I'm gonna ask for a continuance. I was recently retained by Mr. Williams, like yesterday, and this is the packet he brought. I have not had time, the opportunity to go through and investigate the alleged violations. The violations as indicated in the package are sort of general. I need to probably meet with the investigator or one of the persons from the board to sort of narrow what the actual allegations are. For instance, the second one says,
We have no opposition to a continuance to next month if they want to accept. This would be official notice here today for a continuance to next month. And what's our date next month, do we know?
The 15th.
So the hearing would be on May 15th. We just need council and Mr. Williams to accept notice of that resetting.
That's fine, I'll accept.
I got a motion.
We need Mr. Williams to accept it as well.
Oh, I accept.
Second.
Second, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next case.
The next item is Joel Rosario. Are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect the known as present on behalf of Joel Rosario.
Joel Rosario of Sulphur, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License on the Orleans Apartments project in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the amount of $620,000. This is Mr. Rosario's sixth appearance before the board. He was here in March of 2010 for not having a home improvement registration, found guilty, fined $2,091.75 plus $500 cost. He paid $550. The balance owed of $1,941.75 was turned over to the Attorney General's office. He was here in March of 2019, again for not having a home improvement registration. Was fined $8,400. That full amount was turned over to the Attorney General's office. He was here in March of 2020 for not having a residential license, found guilty. He was fined $12,329.05. That's been turned over to the Attorney General's office. He was here March 15th of 2023 for not having a residential license. Fined $11,236.24 plus $1,000 cost. That was turned over to the Attorney General's office. Was here September 20th of 2023 for not having a residential license, and he was fined $15,500, which has also been turned over to the Attorney General's office. He has not applied. He is listed as the only member of Complete House Construction LLC. This company has also been before the board twice. In 2014 for not having a home improvement registration. Pled no contest, fined $2,500 plus $1,000 cost to be reduced to $1,000 and $1,000 if licensed within 60 days. He paid $200, which was returned as NSF. The full amount plus the $50 NSF fee were all turned over to the Attorney General's office for collection. He was here December 18th of 2014 for not having a commercial license, was fined $13,900 plus $500 costs. That's been turned over to the Attorney General's office. The total amount owed by Mr. Rosario and his company is $69,357.37.
Call Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Mr. Vaughn, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the Licensed Board for Contractors for this matter involving Joe Rosario?
Yes, sir.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Vaughn, according to the records, it appears that we provided notice to Mr. Rosario. Was that posted on his door for last notice?
Yes, sir.
We've not heard from Mr. Rosario?
Have not.
Probably not going to hear from him, huh? According to the records, it appears that Mr. Rosario pulled a permit to perform a construction job in the amount of $620,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And was that a residential construction or a commercial construction?
Commercial.
And at the time, was he a licensed contractor with this board?
No, sir.
Is Mr. Rosario working with another company called C2 Development LLC?
Yes, sir.
They claim to work as joint venturers. Is that right?
They were business partners. C2 Development assumed that Joe Rosario had a license and allowed him to oversee the entire project.
And again, not a licensed contractor with this board, is that right?
It was not.
We submit to the board that Joe Rosario is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for performing work on commercial contract projects without a license and the total amount of $620,000. We ask that you find him guilty of the violation, issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find guilty.
Second. Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Fine.
Max fine, plus cost.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Opposed? Mr. Ball, how, with this C2, what's gonna happen with them?
What, C2, they hired Joe Rosario.
I get that, so, but C2, are we bringing in here?
They've already been,
Yeah.
I believe they've already been.
So what's this guy doing? Is he jumping around with different people doing this?
Joe Rosario?
Yes.
Well, in this case, he and the owner of C2 Development were business partners on this project to remodel the apartment complex that was destroyed and consumed by a fire after the hurricanes.
But you mentioned that they assumed he had a license?
Correct.
He misrepresented that fact?
Yes.
Possibly? Okay.
The permit also did that.
Yeah, how's the permit?
Well, the permit
They use C2 Development.
is, the contractor was C2 Development LLC, Michael Clark.
Who's licensed?
His license, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do they actually own these apartments together, is that?
That was my understanding, that, well, they didn't own it, it was a
All right.
4 people partnership conglomerate that were remodeling it to sell.
Next.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
The next item is Jesse Carr Senior. We would like to request a continuance on this one due to a service issue.
Move to continue.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Continue.
Okay.
Move to rehear.
Move to rehear, any second.
Spatco Energy Solutions LLC would like to request a rehearing, and I have a settlement offer if you're willing to rehear.
Do I need a motion to rehear yet?
Yes, we got a motion and a
I got
second.
a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now go.
Okay.
What's the settlement?
We have Spatco Energy Solutions LLC of Charlotte, North Carolina is before you today. Ms. Adams, we have someone present on behalf of Spatco. Sorry.
Brad Barback here on behalf of Spatco Energy Solutions.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Spatco Energy Solutions LLC of Charlotte, North Carolina is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for bidding, estimating, or performing work without the proper classification for the majority of work performed and for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor on the Circle K project in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the amount of $658,384.49. This is their first appearance. They've held a commercial license since October of 2020. They're offering a no contest plea, a $2,500 fine, and $1,000 cost.
Move to accept.
Call Blaine Anderson.
Mr.
Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4 were they prepared in the regular ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter involving Spatco Energy.
Yes, they were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Council, you had a chance to review these documents?
No objection.
No objection? Okay. Exhibits are admitted.
Submit the settlement offer for consideration.
Well, can we hear one, I guess, the request for rehearing and any offer to?
Certainly.
Explanation.
You're an attorney with the
I'm an attorney with McGlinchey Stafford here on behalf of Spatco Energy Solutions. Spatco sends their regrets for missing the first hearing. It was not intentional. They were not ignoring the notice. They were in the process of moving headquarters at the time. That notice of hearing did not get in front of the proper people.
Right.
They retained me after the initial hearing and fine was assessed against them. As to the 2 violations, so there was 1 violation for performing work as an unlicensed contractor. My understanding is they were doing underground tank work. They had individuals employed with Spatco who had the certifications from DEQ, and Spatco misunderstood that they needed to separately obtain their underground tank sub-classification to perform that work.
We get that.
So they did have a commercial license from the board, electrical license as well. They should not have that underground tank sub-classification on their license. They had the DEQ certifications. They have now since applied to get that underground tank sub-classification for their license. I believe that is pending with the board right now.
Okay.
The other charge was for entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor, that being Circle K. And this was an instance where Circle K called up Spatco to install some underground tanks. Spatco did not realize, understand Circle K to be a customer and owner, not a contractor. They understand the board's position on that and the law on that now, and will be cognizant of that going forward. And so this is their first time before the board, is my understanding, and they have offered a $2,500 fine and a $1,000 cost to settle the matter.
Thank you. We got a motion. We got a vote?
Is that correct?
I need a second.
Second.
Yes,
Motion
ma'am.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
The next item is Chips Daiquiris Airline LLC. Staff would like to request a continuance on this one.
You need a motion for that?
Yes,
Need a
sir.
motion?
Motion to read.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And we've already handled climate pros. So that's
Where
the
we do
end.
what?
We've already handled
Yes, ma'am.
the final one.
Let me ask you a question. It says that we have a request for Louisiana for February, and we're doing it again for April.
Which one is that, sir?
This is the one we just approved, huh? Chips?
No, we've requested from staff because we have to, there's some additional information we need to present. So that's why we've asked for continuance of that rehearing.
I'll hear the treasurer's report now.
Short and sweet. I'll make a motion to accept the March financials.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You through? No. Mr. Staff, I need staff report. Come in, resolution alone. We've done the two resolutions already, haven't we?
No, we got one.
We gotta do another one.
That one more.
Well, let's do it. Who got it?
Joseph's got it.
The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, Resolution 2025-08. A resolution granting the Executive Director and the Deputy Director, Enforcement Division of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors the authority to sign findings of facts, conclusions of law, and orders of the Board on behalf of the Chairman of the Board with reference to administrative hearings before the Board as provided in Louisiana Revised Statute 49:951 at C. Whereas the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, i.e. the Board, was created in 1956 by Act 233 of the Louisiana Legislature, Louisiana Revised Statute 37:2150 at SEC, and whereas the Board and Residential Subcommittee of the Board conduct administrative hearings pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 49:951 at SEC, and whereas the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors has undergone organizational restructuring since adoption of the November 17, 2022 resolution, which granted the Executive Director and the now obsolete Compliance Director the authority to sign findings of facts, conclusions of law, and orders of the Board on behalf of the Chairman of the Board, and whereas to the extent deemed necessary or appropriate by the Board for the efficient implementation of its responsibilities under Chapter 24 of Title 37 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes, the Board may delegate its powers and duties to its staff by specific resolution of the Board pursuant to the Louisiana Revised Statute 37:2153, subsection G. Now therefore be it resolved that the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, i.e. the governing authority, in regular session assembled, that the Board hereby grants the Executive Director and the Deputy Director, Enforcement Division of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors the authority to sign findings of facts, conclusions of law, and orders of the Board on behalf of the Chairman of the Board with reference to administrative hearings before the Board as provided in Louisiana Revised Statute 49:951 at C. Furthermore, adoption of this resolution shall rescind the November 17, 2022 resolution, which granted the now obsolete Compliance Director signature authority. This resolution having been submitted to a vote thereon as follows.
Second that.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Exemptions. Mr. Tillage.
The following motion is based on the exemption request meeting from this morning. Based on the committee recommendations, after consideration of the applications for exemption, I move that the exemptions be listed, exemptions as listed and attached to the agenda approved beginning Garden James, Armbuster, and ending with Elliott Dylan Womack, except the following. I think it's Mohammed A.R. He must test. Noah Benjamin Baker has been moved to the May agenda, and Albertina Stafford must test as well. Derek Joseph is approved for municipal, but must test for highway and street and bridge. I so move.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.
You did.